What is going on, guys? Blink here, back with a new guide. I'll be talking about the right things to do when fighting in disadvantages and advantages. Also, the V-Bucks giveaway is still going on, so make sure to visit the link in the description to enter. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications as I post an Amazon gift card code in the comments every time I upload. By turning on notifications, you'll have a way better chance of getting here first and redeeming that code. Anyways, guys, let's get to the guide. So, if you're inside a box needing to heal, or you've already healed, but you start getting sprayed at, then what's the best thing to do to grab the advantage back? So, let me explain what to do. You want to keep rebuilding your wall, but add a staircase right in front of your wall. This will give you an extra layer of support, and once your opponent needs to reload, you then edit the roof and edit the two front squares to open up the top. You then want to proceed to build one ramp and then build a 1x1. So add a front wall, back wall, and two side walls. Then jump up and add a floor, because you want to avoid getting your ramp shot out, which would make you drop down to your enemy. You would need more support, so you want to repeat the 1x1 one more time. Now it would take 2 layers for your opponent to destroy if he wanted to drop you down. This should give you time to heal or peek over with the high ground on your side. If he's directly under your platform, you could also edit your way down to get a better angle to shoot him from. Now, what if your opponent's inside the box and you keep shooting it and he keeps rebuilding and rebuilding? Well, what you want to do is replace his wall with yours. You can do this right after shooting his down. Now, sometimes he might beat you to it, but I find myself always beating my opponent after shooting his wall down. If you can't do it, then shoot 2 of his walls down to low HP and then choose one of them to shoot and replace. He would then have multiple walls to rebuild, which he might not be able to do in time. Once you have replaced his wall with yours, you can now open up a window to peek from and take him out with your shotgun. To open up a window, edit one of the 3 middle boxes. You can also open up bigger openings depending on how you want to approach the situation. If your opponent's on top of a mountain and you're down below, then how do you fight him? Now, this also depends on how far you are. If you're a little far, say in the middle of Tilted Towers Lake, and there's a player on top of one of the Tilted Towers hills, then the best way to fight him would be to place 2 walls down and peek from the right side of the wall. Or you can trick him by placing a staircase beside the wall and just peek from the right side of the wall, because he can usually see the stairs being placed from his angle, which he expects you to peek him from, which is why you're able to trick him into peeking from the right. Now, my opponent wasn't on top of the mountain, which I thought he was. I still did the same procedure as if he was. Place the walls down and the staircase, and you can also peek from the staircase as long as the stairs aren't pointed towards him. The reason for this is because he might be able to see your head when the stairs are pointed towards him, and you won't even know it. Now, the best weapon to use when peeking would be a sniper, because it just allows you to peek in and out really quickly. Because remember, if he's spraying an AR, those bullets are probably going for your head because of the angle he's standing at. When an opponent is shooting you from above, then usually the closest point of connection is your head, and if he hits you in the head, then that's more damage you take in, which means that you have a higher risk of getting killed quicker, which is why using a sniper when peeking out would be your best bet, because you're able to give out massive amount of damage in a shorter amount of time. Now, say you're closer to the mountain your opponent's on, you can double ramp up the mountain to take the high ground. You want to double ramp if you're unsure if your opponent can see you. This avoids you getting shot at when climbing the mountain. Also, make sure when you're double ramping that your ramps are connected to the mountain. If they are, then you won't plummet to the ground if they get shot out, because every ramp you create has its own connection point, which would be the mountain. Now, you don't need to do this if you want to save materials, and if you're checking your surroundings as you build. Usually you should be able to get up the mountain pretty quickly. Once you're up there, all you have to do now is hold the high ground and take advantage of your opponent's positioning. Now, if you're on the hill and your opponent's below, then spray him down with your AR to do some damage. Once he puts down his wall, then that's when you pull out your sniper and peek. You don't want to keep spraying him, because that gives him a chance to snipe you. Unless you're playing duos and you've knocked down your opponent's teammate, then you can keep spraying the other player, because you have double the firepower, because it's just not easy to rebuild your fort from below if you're getting shot at. Here's an example of where my opponent was on a mountain and I took a shot at him that never connected. I pushed the mountain, but not directly where he was at. You always want to try pushing from a side that would take him longer to spot you, because it's a lot worse for you as you try to take the high ground as you're building up and he's just shooting at you. Even if he never spotted me, you still want to go up the mountain where your opponent can't hear you build up to him, because as I said, it's not easy building up as you're getting shot at. He can put you down to a very low HP by the time you get above him, so make sure you're doing it safely. Double ramp it if you're not sure, or make sure you're prepared to put walls down if you hear bullets whizzing towards you. Now, this opponent ended up killing someone up ahead and dropped down the mountain to loot him, so what I did was tried connecting him with the sniper first and then pulled out my AR. When you're above your opponent like I was, you have a better chance of connecting a headshot, which is more critical damage. The reason why I kept shooting was because he never built fast enough. He should have built right when I took the sniper shot. He ended up jumping around a little and then built right after. I still never took cover because I can still clearly see him after he built, since he never ended up building a roof over his head. When you hear an enemy shoot directly above you, that's when you place a wall and a roof over top to avoid taking any more damage. If there was a point where I couldn't see him, I would have backed off, pulled out my sniper, and used the third person peeking without forwarding up to my advantage. Now, what I mean by this is if I built a fort, my opponent knows I have to peek from above the wall. He can pre-line up a shot, and so can I. One of us might hit the shot, but if I don't build anything and pre-line up a sniper shot as I change change my positioning, then he won't even know where to line up his shot. Only do this if you're confident in your sniping abilities, because you risk getting shot in the back since you have no cover behind you. If you do end up utilizing this method, then make sure you're only exposing yourself for a shot or two. If you miss them both, then build yourself a fort before peeking out again. Well, that's it for this guide. Hope this can help some of you guys out in these situations. Also, a like and a sub would be greatly appreciated, as it does help me out a lot. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and night, and I'll see you on the next one.